live game once in November of 2015 and again in November of 2016. His lawyer saying the current case contains, quote, many false assumptions. Paul Stevens, Fox News.
You know what kind of Christmas everyone dreams about, but Fox meteorologist Rick Reichmuth says no white Christmas, at least not in the Northeast.
Is giving its workers. The company's sharing part of the nearly $13 billion investment it received from tobacco giant Altria. The average bonus for Juul's 1,500 employees comes to a whopping $1.3 million each. Carmen Roberts, Fox News.
England's second-largest airport's back open after a 36-hour shutdown when drones were flown illegally near the runways, but Gatwick still has long delays. 2 people are under arrest for allegedly operating those drones in commercial airspace. I'm Roger Stern, and this is Fox News.
Hey, Houston, it's Don Kerstetter at Katie Nissan. From our family to yours, Merry Christmas.
From the Akori Diamonds and Design Traffic Center.
No accidents to report. That is the good news. Meanwhile, we are looking at that bridge repair work that has 3 right lanes closed on 610 southbound between Clinton and Manchester until 3 p.m. this afternoon. Scott West in the 24-hour traffic center.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Christmas will be here before you know it, but there's still time to save on great gifts at Lowe's. Now you can get a Craftsman 20-volt cordless drill for just $69. Lowe's, the new home of Craftsman. Offer valid 12/19 through 12/26. While supplies last, see store for details, U.S. only.
For a limited time, pick your play at Main Event. Pick all-you-can-play activities or pick unlimited arcade games. Only $19.95 all day, every day. Whatever you choose, you just can't lose at Main Event. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Opinions provided on The Eric Dick Show are for informational purposes only and not for the purpose of providing legal advice. You should contact your attorney to obtain advice with respect to any particular issue or problem. The opinions expressed on The Eric Dick Show are that of the host and guests and do not reflect the opinions of this station or iHeartMedia.
When you've got big problems, you need to have a big, you need Eric Dick, homeowner insurance lawyer and trustee for the Harris County Department of Education. This is the Eric Dick Show.
All right, guys. Hey, we're back right before Christmas. We got a quick 30-minute show. We have a fantastic guest today, Tony Buzbee. Chris Carmona is with me on this. Guys, I hope you're going to have a Merry Christmas out there because this is the last show we're going to have before Christmas. Monday is Christmas Eve, and it should be a good one this year.
Now, Dick, have you finished all your shopping?
I have not finished all my shopping. That's what I did some of that before, and after we're done with this, I'm going to go run and do some more.
Man, watch out. Those malls are packed. A lot of dangerous people out there, and I don't mean dangerous because they're going to try to rob you. Just a lot of people running you over, especially a lot of ladies out there. I don't know if they're in a rush and a tizzy, but man, if you go to, especially if you go by Saks, you go by Nordstrom's, I mean, in and out, those exits are just dangerous. So be careful, be cautious, and make sure you're always following the rules of the lane. You know, stay to the right side, move to the left side, things like that. But yeah, I mean, last show, 30-minute show, make sure at 1:30, stay tuned to 950 KPRC. We're going to have the U of H versus Army game, and that's going to be the Army Bowl. So looking forward to that. Go U of H. Tony Buzbee, our guest today. Tony, you're a U of H supporter, right?
Go U of H.
Now, are you saying you go U of H because you're a Marine and you don't like the Army? Or?
No, I want U of H to beat Army. Come on. This is Houston, Texas. We're all Houstonians, and we love the Army, of course, but we love Houston better.
Just making sure. So go Cougs. So, Dick, some things happened recently. Nobody got some things going with the city of Houston, but on a national level, government shut down. Right?
Shut down.
Shut down. But so does that mean we're going to have our taxes are going to stop being taken out for the next 2 or 3 weeks?
Well, I hope so.
But that doesn't ever happen, does it?
No, it never does. What they say is actually that that ends up costing more when it shuts down.
So if you still have your taxes getting deducted, did the government ever really shut down?
No, it doesn't. It's just pretend shut down, and we still pay for it. You think that if it shut down, you wouldn't have to pay for it, but we still do. You pay extra.
Yeah, they say the government's broke.
You're paying, but you're not getting any service now. So that sounds like government.
Now, they said they're going to make the TSA volunteer for free over the next 2 weeks. Because holiday travel, you can't have people just going in and out of the airport. Tony, are people really going to have to work for free?
That doesn't sound very fair, does it?
It doesn't. But, I mean, it's happening. The airports are always a messy business, but now you have TSA agents. Are they going to be more handsy, more grabby since they're not getting paid?
That's funny. So, Chris, yeah, they are going to get paid. It's probably going to be in some type of deferment. That's what I believe. That's what happened the last time the government shut down. Is there was a type of deferment. So they aren't gonna get paid till the government officially turns back on or what have you.
Yeah. So if you're going to take a trip, you're going to the airport, just make sure you get there extra early because the agents may be in a foul mood. You never know.
Now, it's kind of surprising that the government shut down during the Christmas holidays. That's kind of saddening. And it's sad that our government's so divisive that they feel the necessity to fight and kind of try to make each other look bad.
He wants the wall. Trump wants the wall and said he's going to shut the government down until he gets the wall. So.
Well, I do agree with a lot of the stuff he says, but I just think it's sad that government has to be so divisive, and they aren't able to at least come to some type of agreement, or at least figure something out and move forward. Because that divisive politics, I'm tired of it.
Everybody is, and that's why with this new campaigns coming up for 19 and again in 2020, a lot of people are starting to look for people who can unite people more than divide. Especially with the city of Houston, man, I'm going to look forward for that one because you have so much infighting going on. We said that this past week we can't even agree on the airport funding. Tony, what's your take on the airport funding? I mean, should there have been an agreement reached?
Don't you think government's broke?
It is. Broke.
It is broke. I mean, it's broke from Washington D.C. all the way down here to Houston, Texas. It's broke, and so it's going to take a real. I mean, and of course we hear this every election cycle. Somebody steps forward and say we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. There's too much money in politics. There's too many special interests. There's people carrying water that you don't even know they're carrying water for. So we're going to have to do something, and we're going to have to do something big, and it's going to take people who have no other intention than doing the right thing, I believe.
And that's what we should have in government. People actually doing stuff because they think it's the right thing to do, and that type of behavior should be encouraged instead of discouraged. And oftentimes, it's saddening that when people try to do things for the right reasons, government gets in the way and says you can't do that, or they try to regulate it and make it really difficult to do that.
Are you talking about the feeding of the homeless?
Of course, I'm talking about the feeding of the homeless.
You
knew that, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was going to bring that up.
You can't help me. You can't help it.
I mean, it is the holiday time, and that's when we usually go out there. You see more charitable givings, and especially with the homeless people, you want to try to give them food, comfort, blankets, shelter, because the institutions we have right now don't have the capacity to take every single homeless person off the street. And so, of course,
even if they did, why would you ever criminalize kindness? I mean, even if every soup kitchen in this town, even if all homeless were being served in some way, why would you ever criminalize somebody trying to do something nice?
Well, the answer, I think, was pretty simple, made clear back in 2013 or 12 or 13.
12.
It was because the East End developers wanted to try to eradicate the homeless from the East End and said,
I know the motive.
Yeah.
I got that.
And so
my point is, how can we have a legitimate government that criminalizes kindness?
Yeah, we can. We can't. Dick, what's the update on the lawsuit with that?
Oh, so that's an interesting lawsuit, and I kind of like to talk about that. So what happened, the facts of that lawsuit.
We only have 30 minutes, Dick.
Okay. Well, Cherie Dorr, she was feeding the homeless, and the city of Houston took her food and made her throw it away, took her clothing that she was giving a homeless person on freaking Christmas Eve and made her throw it away. It's just amazing that this type of stuff happens.
And the clothing is outside of the regulation of the feeding ordinance, right?
Even in part of the ordinance, no.
No, but they thought they didn't like it that she was doing that. They took the stuff, they threw it away. They didn't like it that homeless people were gathered under the freeways. And it's not the safest thing. I don't even promote them gathering under the freeways. But when it's cold, what do you expect? People do things, and it shouldn't be wrong to at least try to help someone live another night.
You know how close many people in this city are to quote being homeless. I mean, one sickness, losing your job. I mean, it's unfathomable to me that we would spend our time as a city putting in place an ordinance that criminalizes somebody trying to do something good.
And you make a good point because you've done a lot of personal injury cases in your career as an attorney. And most of those clients at some point when they got injured in an accident may have lost their job because they weren't able to attend. Right. And that's what sets them in a downward spiral is they lose their car, they lose their job, they can't take care of themselves, and all of a sudden they end up on the street.
We can't lose sight of the fact that many people, most people are living paycheck to paycheck. And when they no longer have a paycheck, they're out of options. And if you are driving through the city of Houston and you see somebody that, say you've seen them 2 or 3 times, and you're with your child and you want to set an example and do something nice, and the city of Houston says that's illegal, we're going to end that.
Yeah.
We're going to end that.
We're going to get back to this more, really the spirit of what the city should be doing. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you for tuning in.
I'll hold your hands, they're just like ice.
My mother will start to worry.
Beautiful, what's your hurry?
And father will be pacing the floor.
Listen to that fireplace roll.
Double Down gives you 2 ways to win a great free mattress at Gallery Furniture. Buy a mattress $3,000 or higher, and if the Rockets win the season-ending championship or the Astros win the season-ending championship in 2019, your mattress is free. Double Down at Gallery Furniture today.
See GalleryFurniture.com for details.
Classic Chevy Sugarland. Relax, enjoy the difference.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-600-3166. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible, without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-600-3166. That's 1-800-600-3166. 1-800-600-3166.
UT Health Science Center's Consortium on Aging is the place for those of us who are a little bit older than average. We're aging. That's what we're doing. We're not getting older. We're just aging a little bit, like fine wine. You go to the consortium, you talk to people who specialize in senior health, in geriatric medicine. It's where old people go to keep getting older and keep living better. It's very simple. uth.edu/aging. Write that down. Check it out. uth.edu/aging.
For a limited time, pick your play at Main Event. Pick all-you-can-play activities or pick unlimited arcade games. Only $19.95 all day, every day. Whatever you choose, you just can't lose at Main Event. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
See why more than 3 million companies worldwide use Indeed to hire. Post your job at Indeed.com/hire. Indeed, the world's #1 job site. Source.com score total visits.
Do you feel beat down and defeated by day-to-day life? Take a break from anxiety and fear. Recovery Radio with Steve Gallington, this Sunday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on 950 a.m. KPRC.
If your business is healthcare, you care about attracting the right customers. With 1 in 2 people looking to improve their health in the new year, now's the time to advertise. Getting healthy, feeling, and looking better are always on the top of the resolution list. Give your campaign a healthy start with iHeartRadio. We reach 93% of Americans, and 7 out of 10 people research your business after hearing your radio ad. Make it your resolution to grow your business with iHeart. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Hi, it's Joe Pags. Like KPRC 950 on Facebook. Houston News, hot topics, and must-hear interviews. The news feed for those of us who really just care about news that matters to us. Join the conversation. Stay in the know. Go to kprcradio.com and click on the blue like button.
Hey, folks, we're back to my little show here, KPRC. Eric Dick, Chris Carmona's right here with me, and we have a fantastic guest today, Tony Buzbee. So, what were we talking about,
Yeah, we're
Chris?
talking about just how ridiculous it is to criminalize charity and the charitable givings of feeding the homeless. And Tony was talking about his feelings on that, and, I mean, he's right. I mean, it just makes no sense to try to criminalize good behavior. You know, behavior there has actually been, I won't say ordained, but I mean, I guess you could say that from, the gospel. And we have the whole thing of, we got to keep things separated between church and state at all local levels, federal levels. But compassion for people, there shouldn't be a boundary on that, at least in my opinion.
No, I mean, whether you're wanting to feed the homeless because you want to set an example for your kid, whether you're doing it out of something that, some biblical teaching, whether you're doing it because you're just a good person, it doesn't matter. It should not be illegal, period.
Yeah. And again, this is one of the things that we've always seen with the city of Houston is some of these ordinances and regulations they put on individuals, companies, businesses, families. It's too much. It's overbroad. I mean, I've read something recently that Houston is, I think, either number 9 or number 5 in big cities where people are actually leaving now.
Yeah.
And I know you said something before. We have a exceptional city, great city with subpar leadership.
Think about it. We have. I mean, of course, Michelin doesn't come here and rate our restaurants. They should. When I'm the mayor, we're going to make that happen. But we have some of the best restaurants. We have some of the most charitable people. You think about all of the people that are involved in giving of their time and their money to help all kinds of groups. And then you think about with their energy capital, the diversity that we have. We are a world-class city with subpar leadership. It's a good way to say it. We're above average city with below average leadership.
Yeah. Now you just said it, and last time you were here a couple of weeks ago, it was a little iffy if and when you were going to make this commitment. So Tony Buzbee, are you now a candidate for mayor of City of Houston?
I have crossed the Rubicon. I am going to be the mayor. I'm calling on everyone to help me. I want your input. I want to listen to what your issues are. I want to be the mayor for everyone. The first thing we're going to do is to end this corruption at City Hall. It's corruption not only known within the city of Houston, but known nationwide that the city is up for sale. That's why there's so many contracts that are awarded to out-of-state companies. We have a real pay-to-play system here in the city of Houston that needs to end, and it needs to end immediately because we're at a crossroads here, folks. We either are going to become the kind of city that we should be, or we're going to be a city like Washington, D.C., Chicago, Detroit. We can keep going. Those are cities that were overcome with the pay-to-play and the corruption and got upside down, and look at them now. We can do better here. We have the right people. We have the right city. Let's do it right.
So what you do as mayor there is you'd create an ordinance where if someone gives you a donation, either a PAC, maybe someone that's affiliated with the PAC, or someone donates to you, they just can't do business with the city, period.
Period. And I'm not talking about a watered down ordinance where, there's a blackout period of 60 days, you can't have so-called discussion.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if you give money you're not going to give money to me because I'm not taking any campaign donations, period, ever. So you don't have to worry about me. But if you give money to a city council person, that person either has to recuse or that provision will not come before the city council. And if it does, as the mayor, I would control the agenda, as you know, but that can be overridden by city council, as you know. But my position is if you give money to a council member, guess what? You don't do business with the city, period.
You'd create basically an ordinance where if anybody gave money to you or your family, that they wouldn't be able to do business with the city, and there'd be you'd come before the city council and the mayor, and you'd be voted on, and that would be an ordinance.
So let me ask this, because it may sound like it's a funny question, but does this mean that we will actually start having potholes being fixed correctly and properly?
But don't you think we should?
We
should? Listen, the current mayor says, hey, I filled 5,000 potholes. Well, back in where I come from, what he's done is what we call, I can't say it on the air, but it's not done correctly.
Oh.
And I would say I'm going to do 2,500 potholes, but we're going to do it right the first time. We're not going to do it 3 times. We're going to do it right the first time.
And that reminds me, when I used to be the director of dispute resolution and general counsel for the Municipal Employee Union, in 2010, we actually had an employee survey asking how can the city save money. Public Works, number one thing they kept saying was, let us do our job and fill these potholes and fix the roads ourselves and let us do them right.
Yeah.
Because they were subcontracting it out to mayor's friends, the director's friends. At the time, I think it was Kruger was the director of Public Works. But everybody was getting these contracts that you speak of, that pay for play, and things weren't getting repaired properly. It was patchwork. Everything was patchwork.
It's not only that things aren't getting prepared, done properly. They're being overcharged like 300, 400, 500 times what it normally costs in the market.
Let me give you one example. Okay, there's as you know, there's supposedly going to be $1.2 billion of aid coming from the federal government to help those who were devastated by Harvey, who are uninsured. Not $1 of that has went to a homeowner yet. Recently, the city council approved a provision authorizing $35 million for a contract from a company out of Virginia to go out and find those people that would qualify. $6.7 million of that $35 million went to our current mayor's law partner. So $35 million to find people that are in need, which not that hard.
No.
And 6.7 of it goes to the mayor's former law partner. Now, here's what a mayor should have done. He should have went to all three major news channels, cable, and said, look, can you give me 30 seconds of free time? There are people that are in need in this city, and I want to identify them and have a website that actually works so they can contact us so we can find the people that qualify for this money. $35 million on its face is ridiculous, and $6.7 million to his law partner is asinine.
And the fact that it's been a year and some change, and they haven't given out one penny.
Not a single dime.
Not one penny to all those people that suffered. I see them all the time. I do those insurance claims, and they're struggling.
Hundreds of thousands of families are still displaced from Harvey, still recovering. But you're right. I mean, the information is still out there. I mean, most people went through the FEMA website. That's information that's shareable between government entities to where they can have that database of who is actually impacted, who needs the help.
I'm all for outreach. Obviously, we want to identify those people that are in need that qualify for these monies, but you don't need to waste $35 million doing it, and you certainly don't need to give $6.7 million of those monies to the mayor's law partner.
But they could give $6.7 million to his buddies, but they can't give a penny to the people that actually suffered.
And I'll tell you,
a year later.
And I'll tell you what. If you ask this mayor why that is, he will say, "Well, it's the federal government. Well, it's the state government." Let me tell you something. It's an issue of competence, is what it is. They don't know what they're doing. They send in the forms or not filled. They get sent back. I could talk to you for 30 minutes about the incompetence, the reason that money is still not being received by those in need.
Yeah, well, hopefully coming up shortly in the next few months, we'll actually have some of that money being doled out to the families who need it, because going over a year and a half and not being restored is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. It's insane.
Remember, this is money. This is our taxpayer money we're talking about that's sitting there, and people are suffering.
Yeah, and it's something tough to look at, because I know that as the floods were happening, I was out there and I was doing a lot of coordination with a lot of families, a lot of people who were stranded, a lot of rescue efforts with the Cajun Navy. And so seeing these families personally impacted and going out there and actually helping muck out their homes, it's disheartening to still see this time has passed and they're still, having tarps over their, in the floors, on the roofs, everywhere that you can find from being impacted by this.
This whole election, Chris, Eric, is going to be about competence and corruption. That's what it's going to be about. I'm going to give you one last example. I'm going to quit beating this drum. But, we have right now a lawsuit ongoing between our firefighters, our police, and the city. Something that should have ended more than a year ago. It could have ended. All you had to have done was say, let's sit down and resolve this. The last thing any of us need or want is a lawsuit. The firefighters, you deserve a raise. Let's forget about why you hadn't had a raise. Let's just talk about getting you a raise, something that the city can absorb in the budget, something that the taxpayers expect. And what we have instead, laying aside all the corruption, is an incompetent mayor and an incompetent staff, and that's why they've already authorized another 100 and something thousand. So they've already spent $500,000, another $150,000 in legal fees, suing the city city suing the firefighters and the police. Yeah. Unacceptable.
It is. And, we're almost out of time on this shortened version of the Eric Dick Show today, this Saturday before Christmas. And this is Chris Carmona, Eric Dick's wingman. But if you're looking for a ringman, make sure you go check out Jay over at Houston Diamonds Outlet. And he'll take care of you. I'm not saying I got one or I'm looking for one.
Really?
I'm just saying.
No. Yeah,
some
I'll
people
ask
need
you that
wingmans,
tonight.
some people need ringmans.
Yeah.
Just letting you know.
Hey guys, anyway, you can check me out at Twitter at Dick Law Firm, Facebook at Dick Law Firm, Instagram at Dick Law Firm. We'll be here next week. Thank you very much. Have happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks, guys. We're out.
We interrupt our regular programming to bring you this exclusive presentation of Houston.